Fanatec has not had the last good few months. Since around mid 2023, they've always had issues with deliveries. Then everything was exacerbated during Black Friday to the point it created a huge issue for a great number of customers. Adding to that, the lack of approval from Sony of the Club Sport DD Plus that has been pushed back around at least 2 months. It means that there's now a lot of pushback, and the reputation of Fanatec has not been the best since. It's becoming quite a big issue for Fanatec, and it's not just about the situation of delivering the parcels. It's also a big reputational risk that goes beyond sim racing. It does have impacts on their stock. Their stock dropped since the last year about 50%, which is a huge impact. This is also related with that, with the delivery, with the lack of availability of the Club Sport DD Plus, but also something else, which is now Mazda and Simagic and other companies grabbing a bite of the sim racing market. I've argued for a while that even though some of these problems are really not under their control, for example, the Club Sport DD Plus, that's under Sony. Fanatec can really do about what Sony does, or even though the warehouse is under some UPS or DHL control or whatever it is, they still can communicate to the customer to manage their expectations. I have a really good comment in a video that I've done about this, saying that a wait isn't a problem if it is communicated beforehand. And I agree with this. If they tell everybody beforehand what is going on, you can make your decision. It's very simple. And with this, they can still do pre-orders of the Club Sport DD Plus or whatever else that is not on stock as long as it's properly communicated. But fortunately, not everything is doom and gloom regarding this topic. I've been checking out the subreddit Fanatec because it's a really good weather vane to see what the hell is going on. It was really the reason why it made me so interested, piqued my interest checking out that subreddit when you see a lot of people complaining about the deliveries being late weeks or months. And in the last couple of weeks or so, I've seen an inversion of this. Before you had a lot of complaints of people telling that it is late. Now these complaints have completely disappeared or disappeared in a large portion. And now you see more and more people saying, I've ordered this 2 weeks ago and it was delivered today. 2 weeks isn't really a bad delivery time. I've seen reports of being delivered in 4 days, which is really not bad at all because a lot of these deliveries are international. So something is definitely getting better. Something is being done on the background, and it's good to see that it is getting into control. It's still not totally under control because there are still one issue that is for me very important. There are still a good number of people complaining that the Black Friday orders are still not fulfilled. Some of them are going to the point that are stating that their order has been lost. Sadly, for those who haven't had their order fulfilled since Black Friday, it's likely going to take a while. It could be very well be lost in the process of the warehouse change or whatever, but they won't be communicated because customer support for Fanatec is still under a pile of emails. Some of emails have been fulfilled, some of them have been not, but it doesn't do any good if they're not responded. Fanatec wouldn't be able to send a new parcel for them and do whatever they need to do on a background if they don't know about it, because all of those issues are under a pile of other emails. Customer support has been an issue for a while for Fanatec. I've had communications with customer support in the past. It took me like 3 or 4 days, but this was prior to COVID. Since COVID, the issues have been piling up over the years, and now it's been culminating in this. So fortunately, the new orders are being fulfilled quite fast now. Sad for the ones that haven't been fulfilled on Black Friday. There's improvement over there. The only issue right now in terms of new orders is when the stock availability is gone, and then you would know that the stock isn't there, and then you'll ask yourself, why is my order taking so long? Once again, this is an issue that Fanatec needs to correct. So the new orders getting through very fast, or fast enough, not to be an issue, is good news. The other piece of good news I have for you is coming from an investor call they had, and this is on the Financial Times. Yesterday, we received confirmation from Sony about the expected but previously delayed product and license, which now have been announced for the first half of February 2024. Production of the new line and stockpiling is already running at full speed in order to be able to fulfill pre-orders and expected custom orders at short notice. So we have now the confirmation that Sony is actually moving towards approving the Club Sport DD Plus, maybe for the half of February, but I wouldn't expect to be just, first half of February, expect for maybe late February, early March. But that means there's something actually going towards on the background. But once again, take this with a grain of salt, because Sony might do Sony things and then decide that, that this is not to be approved for some reason. But at least there is now communication that this is actually being taken care of, and Sony is actually looking towards the Club Sports DD Plus. My last point goes back to the beginning and to the other video as well, is that Fanatec doesn't really have good communication. It's not just about receiving information about the product, what it does, what it cannot do, either that from their webpage or from any review out there. It's more about customers understanding what they're getting into, because they are spending their money into a product or a product line, and they need to understand what is going on, because for them it's a long-term investment on their hobby. And not understanding, not just about the product, but not understanding what is happening to their money, if they're going to see the money's worth in a physical product, how long it's going to take, it's generally not good practice. It is my opinion that it's much better to lose a customer by being upfront and honest, telling them, look, this is going to take 2 or 3 months to get to you. You want to wait this much? Than to keep a disgruntled customer that their first interaction is something really bad. I had to wait 2 or 3 months and I wasn't informed. Imagine that, and then add to the experience that some of the units that they've been receiving, some of these customers have RMA issues and they can't get an RMA through. Communication and honesty are the best way to build relationships, even if that is not translating into money for them. But, it's very easy to lose reputation. You can lose a reputation in a second. From that point onwards, it's basically downhill. And Fanatec does really need to build some good relationship right now, especially when the competition is getting really good products out there. But I want to hear from you. I need to understand what is going on, not just the case with the Fanatec subreddit, if that's really the case in terms of delivery. Tell us in the comments below if you are or were a Black Friday customer, if your order has been fulfilled and how long did it take. And also likewise, if you are a customer that did an order in January, if your order has already been fulfilled and how long has it taken. If you do that, new customers doing orders might have a better idea of what is happening, and maybe it's not as bad as before. And if it's much better, it will be far easier to see. Thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel.